how do you feel regarding like continually having to share the same stuff? Like how often do you run into, I feel like we've said it a lot.
Yes. The second that I feel like I've said something enough, someone will ask that question again. For example, I can't tell you the amount of times I've shared stuff on how to improve ankle mobility. In literally every single week, every single day, I will get someone that asks a question, hey, how do I improve my ankle mobility? It's just there's never ending content to create for different topics. What you don't want to do is just share the same post over and over and over again. So that's where the fun comes in the creative process, the problem solving of how can I create a similar message but do so in a different way. And sometimes it's reaching so almost a little bit of a different audience. So for example, let's say I want to make a topic on ankle mobility. I can make 3 different videos off the top of my head quickly on that. First one, I have a powerlifter who comes to me who has a problem hitting depth. Worked with Kelly Branton up in Canada 5 years ago. He was having an issue hitting depth on 960 pounds, mind you. Now, he also had a
it should help.
Exactly. He also had a torn Achilles years ago and had an issue getting his ankle mobility back, which is why he was struggling to hit depth, and he would shift outside of it. So we worked on his ankle mobility at the Canadian Championship 2016, 17. He smoked 975 or something like that. But share that story. Second one, I'll just show a video of me squatting ass to grass and being like, hey, here's my top 3 ways of improving ankle mobility. Boom, boom, boom. Show them. Third one, hey, John had a sprained ankle and he was struggling to get his ankle mobility back. We use a banded joint mobilization. Here's the exact mechanics and how you would go about performing a banded joint mobilization reps and sets if you have a pinch sensation in the front of your ankle. 3 different pieces of content, all on the exact same topic. That's 3 different ways to say the exact same thing of here's how you get more knee over toe so you can squat deeper.
Sure.
So it's like things like that just constantly the gears are grinding, and I'm able to create content that can help 3 different people. That could be 3,000 different people. The ankle sprain content isn't probably going to reach the power lifter as much because he's like, I don't have an ankle sprain. You know, the powerlifting one, the CrossFitter, the fitness mom, you know, that just wants to squat to look good, that may not reach her as much. She may just keep on scrolling past that. So there's always a challenge and a problem to solve, and coming at things different ways to get the same message across.
Yeah.
And that is the joy of social media, is learning how do I do that and make the same piece of content hit in 3 different ways. Because like you said, how many of just take Instagram for example, how many of the 2 million followers on Instagram are a currently competitive powerlifter, strongman, which is even more of a niche sport,
right,
or Olympic weightlifter?
Yeah, you can almost just say like serious strength lifter would be the overarching thing that you're addressing.
That's my goal, but I know that sometimes there's different avenues. So
people show up from everywhere.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any of the information only valuable for like any of the information that works for the strongest people alive probably translates to your mom.
Yeah. I mean, I've literally had people send me a picture of them with their book, and they're like, hey, this is my father. He's 70 years old, and he loves your book. He just wants to work out with kettlebells.
It's great.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's more movement. That's better performing. That's having a better life. It's happier. It's more options. It's...
Yeah. I remember hearing, I think it was Chris Duffin who was on a podcast talking about sort of the tagline of Kabuki Strength, and it was like education or making the world a better place through strength or something like that.
Yeah.
And I love that, because through strength doesn't always mean I am competing in powerlifting next week or I'm competing in weightlifting, but it means we're using strength training as a way to enhance our life, and that's what it's all about. So that's where the world champion powerlifter that I'm sharing still has a way of relating to Susie, the 35-year-old mom who likes to go and work out at Gold's Gym.
Right.
It still fits because it's strength training, moving better, improving our capacity to not only get better lifts at the gym, which for a lot of us is our main concern, but also live the life that we want to live. You know, the most impressive post that, as far as numbers within the last year that came out, was I reshared a video during Christmas time of this, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's a grandpa who sees that he wants to be able to lift his grandchild to put the star on the top of a tree, and he knows he's not strong enough. So he goes into the old shed and he pulls out this kettlebell, and he can barely move it at first.
I saw, yeah.
And then he
great.
takes it, and he's constantly trying to lift it, and he can barely lift it. And you know, people are like, what's this old guy doing? He shouldn't be lifting weights. He's going to hurt himself. And he's training, and eventually he gets to the point where he can lift this big kettlebell. And at the end, it showcases, obviously, his goal is to take his grandchild, hold her up so she can put the star on the tree. And again, strength training, while for a large majority of us, and for me, most of my adult life has been, I want a bigger snatch because I want to place higher in this competition. Right. Strength training is also that thing that allows us to live the life that we want to live for our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and the rest of our lives. And that's the big thing that I'm trying to get across to people.
Well, supporting the skeleton seems to give us more options.
Yes.
Right. Like it seems I haven't run into anything yet in my life experience of travel and adventure and whatever else we're trying to do that if I was 10% stronger and everything else was the same, wouldn't be better.
Yeah.
If I didn't have 10% more endurance, 10% ability to walk upstairs better, you know, whatever it is, it's never been a limiting factor. It would have been when I was trying to be very good at one small thing.
Yeah.
But now that it's being able to translate into what does it do to provide overall benefit for the rest of my life, strength is still wildly important.
Yes. It's capacity. It gives you the ability to live the life that you want to live. You know, I've made posts before that get some funny reactions, but it's like, you know, the one thing I don't want to ever do is have to have someone help me off the toilet. But do you know how many people, and it's obviously I've been put in situations where because of my job, when I was going through school, I would do clinical rotations at certain places, like a skilled nursing facility, where you see someone who's 80, 90 years old, who cannot physically get themselves on and off the toilet anymore for the only reason that they have lost strength. They have lost the capacity for fundamental human movement. And what do we do as physical therapists? I teach them how to squat. I teach them how to get on and off a chair. I give them a little weight, and we start building capacity. Like, that's what strength training is. It allows us to do.
It's linear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no different than the way I look at everything now for trying to grow my business. Is like we have to get better at managing everything.
Yeah.